alienated as the first group did. They are what are called channels, are antennas of energy. They are here just to be. You don't have to do anything. And some of the people, like this last client, said, well, I want to know what my assignment is. It must be something big. And they said, no, you're just here to generate energy.
Mm-hmm.
They
to hold the frequency is
yeah,
and raise the frequency.
To help raise the frequency of Earth and people. So you can see how they're influencing people, the ones who are caught in karma, by being around these kind of people. But they generate the energy, comes through them. And they say they can walk through a mall of people and affect everyone that they come in contact with. It's the energy just emanates out of them and also goes into the earth. So they are doing a valuable service. But many of these people in the second wave, some don't get married. Even the first wave don't get married. Because they don't feel right. Sometimes they'll try it to fit in, but it's never the way it should be. They don't feel comfortable with it. But
so I believe you also said that, was it the first wave or the second wave that doesn't have kids?
A lot of them don't want children because they realize on this other level, none of this is conscious, they realize that on this other level, having children creates karma. And they don't want that. They want to get in here, do their job, and get out. Go home. Go back to where they belong. They don't want to be stuck here.
Now,
so
what about the
they
third
live a kind of a lonely life. Many of them work at home. They don't go out and work. They work out of the home, and if they do get married, it's usually someone who's like them. And I found some that have found each other. But they are very gentle people, but they just don't make waves. So they're a little different than the first wave. I asked them one time, why does the second wave have an easier time of it? Because the first wave was much more difficult on them, where they wanted to commit suicide. They said someone had to be the pioneers to set the way, to blaze the trail. Then the other ones followed, the second wave followed, and they had it a little easier. So that was the difference.
And what about the third wave?
The third wave are the new children that are coming in. Now, all the DNA in our bodies is being changed at this time because we have to be able to adapt to the changing of the frequencies and the vibrations of the earth as it changes. So our DNA is being changed to adapt to it. So this is, the new children are coming in with all the DNA already changed. It's all fixed so they don't have to adapt. They are the hope of the world, the gift of the world. That's why the last thing you should be doing is putting them on drugs.
I agree with that.
I speak at conferences about the new children, and they have panels where the children tell themselves what's going on, to tell what they're experiencing. The reason why they're considered disruptive is because they're bored. They come in, they learn things very fast, they know more than you think they know, and yet they're treated like children, like they don't know. Because they said, in a class, the teacher will ask them the answer to a question, and they'll tell them the answer to the question. And they'll say, how did you find that answer, especially in math? They say, I know it. That's not good enough for the teacher.
Sure.
And so a lot of these people just know the information. And then they say it gets so boring because the teachers have repeating. They said, I got it the first time, but yet they keep going over and over with the class. So that's why they get disruptive. They're bored.
Sure.
So they said, the ones I work with on the other side, they say the best thing you can do with these new children is to give them challenges. Something to do away from the other classroom, well, even if they're in the room. They said even if you give them something to tear apart and put back together again, it's giving them something to do with their mind. They're just sitting there waiting for the rest of the class to catch up with them.
Sure, probably learning by rote is not interesting to them whatsoever.
It's not, because they learn so fast.
So you've got
There's
3 waves
More of
coming to
those
the
coming
planet.
in all the time.
I understand.
Yeah.
You've got 3 waves coming to the planet to help raise the frequency so that we can go through what, now I don't know how you refer to it. I know that you talked about what is in essence sort of a second Earth that's
The new
being
Earth.
created.
The new Earth.
And this is also something that Laura Knight Jedzik, who I also interviewed, talks about. And she talks about a wave that's coming, or we're entering.
It's already here.
Okay.
We're already in the middle of it.
Yes.
It started about 2003 is when it became more obvious.
Okay.
Does she talk about the 2 Earths separate?
Yes. Well, in essence, going from into 4D, the fourth dimension,
It's
and
5th dimension.
5th dimension.
Yeah, we
Okay,
skip
you're-
in 4th dimension. 4th dimension is time.
Okay. And so you believe that the Earth is going into 5th dimension?
It's already going.
Okay. And that's the information you're getting.
Yes, but it's not the Earth.
Hmm.
It's separating into 2 Earths.
Okay.
That's why I didn't know if she talked about that.
Well, not specifically calling it 2 Earths, but the
The
idea
old
is
Earth
that
and the new Earth.
one group of people will stay behind and not, in essence, evolve at this time and move on to the next dimension.
That's what's called the old Earth.
Mhm.
They said they will stay with what they created.
Mhm.
And that's all the turmoil and the violence and the wars and the catastrophes that are going on. That's the old Earth.
Okay. And then the frequency that's being raised, how do they describe the new Earth being created, then the people going to the new Earth?
It's beautiful. It's wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
It's well, it's like paradise. When we
Okay.
go, they say when you go, step through and don't look back. You don't want to see is what's happening with the rest. But it has to do with raising the vibrations and frequencies. Now the planet, you must remember, is a living being.
Mhm.
It is evolving. It is doing its own thing.
Mhm.
So as it evolves, it is changing its vibration and frequency to move. It doesn't care if the rest of the world goes with it. It doesn't care if the human race goes with it. We're like fleas on a dog anyway. It just as soon get rid of us. So,
But isn't it true there are some people are already going into this other
No.
Earth? No?
no,
This is not what you're hearing?
no.
All right.
Not until your frequency and vibration is correct.
Uh-huh. And are you not hearing that, in other words, that this second Earth has been already prepared?
That's something different, totally. In the custodians, we talk about the ETs have prepared another planet. That's a separate thing.
I see.
The other planet that's being prepared is in case we were stupid enough to destroy the world. The human race must not perish. And they would take some there to keep the human race going. And a lot of these are the cloning that's been going on to keep the race going.
Okay.
That's a different thing.
Hmm.
They said you can call it what you want when you get there. It's like a new Eden. That's another planet that's being prepared. They said it'll be similar to Earth, but not exactly the same.
Okay. And this new Earth that you're talking about is another concept.
This is the vibrations of this Earth
Mhm.
moving into another dimension.
Okay. So
it's not
that
a totally separate one.
we're talking about, in essence, 2 dimensions, both people residing on one dimension and the other dimension, and that they're actually occupying in perhaps the same space.
You mean the 2 Earths?
Mm-hmm.
No, because once they separate, they can't occupy the same space.
Okay.
Now they are. That's why people can't go yet, because it's not ready. The vibrations haven't completed.
Okay. So you're talking about a group change.
But till the vibration and frequencies match,
Mm-hmm.
it can't happen. That's
Okay.
why it's happening gradually. They said the human body is going to go. Our frequencies and vibrations have to raise to match those of the planet
Mm-hmm.
as you go. To change the vibration of the human body quickly would destroy the human body. It couldn't handle it. So it's been doing it gradually. This started about 2003 is when it began to be obvious something was going on. A gradual progression. And they will change the vibrations and frequencies up a little notch. until you adapt to that. This can take several months, and there will be definite physical symptoms as this occurs. Then it will even out, and then it will go up another notch. So it's a gradual process. But now it seems like it's not affecting the human body as much because we're gradually adapting to it. The older people are having the hardest time adjusting. The young ones are coming in already adjusted. It's the ones in the middle that are having trouble. But those that can't handle the change will just leave the planet.
Okay.
They'll make a transition, they'll die, in other words. But they said that's okay. That's why so many are leaving all at once. It's all right to do that because they are not ready to handle the vibrations and the frequencies. But as the body adapts, as you move through this, then we will all move together. That's when the separation occurs, when it reaches that point.
And have they given you a year or a time for that?
No, one thing, I keep asking them questions about it. They say, we can't answer all your questions because we don't know. This is the first time in the history of the universe this has ever happened. So we don't really know what's going to happen. So they said, it's the biggest show on Earth. All the ETs, everyone is watching. They want to see if we can pull it off. But let me give an example that, I don't know if you know Annie Kirkwood. She wrote Mary's Message to the World. And we used to do panels together. She had a vision that I think really describes it the best way. Because it's very hard to understand the concept of things splitting and becoming two. But it's evolution is what it is. She saw the Earth. And then she saw it begin to pull apart like a cell does when it divides. And as it began to pull apart, she saw it break apart into two Earths. One was the new and one was the old. And over here, she heard them saying, we did it, we did it, we did it. And over here, it was like